Hey, good evening, everyone. This is Samuel Schmucker with Schmucker Security Podcast. And tonight is our first session, and I'm with some of the cast of our upcoming movie, Jason in Indianapolis, which will come out in September 2024, and trying to get some insight about how they feel about being a part of this and what they hope to see come of it. So let me introduce everyone that's here currently, and then we will get into some topics. First, we got Anna. She is from Mississippi. We got Brandy from right here in Indianapolis. Robin's from here in Indianapolis. Linda is from here in Indianapolis. And Mindy, I believe you're from, I want to correct I don't want to mess it up, Pennsylvania?
Good old
Ohio.
Maryland.
Maryland. See, I knew I was going to mess it up. And we got Mindy from Maryland. And of course, I'm from Indianapolis. So let's dive into some topics here. First, I want everybody just to introduce yourselves. Tell me a little bit about what you've done, what you do or what you have done in the past if you don't have anything currently going on. I'll start with Anna.
Hi, I'm Anna Xaden. I have been in Chainsaw Cheerleaders, Cool as Hell. Well, that was actually deleted scene. Hollywood Werewolf. And recently, last year at the end of the year, I filmed for Darby's Scream House. So that one's coming out soon and it's going to be killer. I also model and do music.
Right on. Nice. All right. Mindy.
Well, hello everyone. I'm Missy, and so it's kind of new to me. I just doing this stuff like probably last summer. I started with The Legend of Crickfoot, and let's see, and then I was in like a music video, and I got a couple projects coming up that are still being filmed, and I'm in the middle of writing a script with Matt Byrne. I'm super excited about it, but my lips are sealed, I guess. But it's just really fun. Like, this is a lot of fun. I wish I would have gotten into it sooner. But that's it. That's my story. Thanks for having me.
I feel you on the new to it. I wish I would have discovered this type of thing. I've been a movie buff my whole life, but I never really dived into the dialogues and watching and seeing the mistakes and how your brain knows that could have been better. They could have shot that scene over here. It'll look
Yeah.
better if they did this. I never done that. And until I got involved doing this, I went and acted on two shows. I did a movie and a short, and then I was an extra. And I just fell in love with the concept of seeing different people shoot in three different styles. Just was like interesting. So I agree with you. I wish I would have learned this 15, 20 years ago. Being in my 40s, I could have been
Yeah.
doing this for the last 30 years.
Right. It's addicting.
It is.
Oh, yeah.
Brandy, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Okay, my name is Brandy Linville. I'm from Indianapolis. I have never did any acting at all. Mainly, I do a lot of promotional work. I am a cheer coach. I do that on the side. I've always been a movie buff too. I love all the new things that's coming out. That's pretty much it for me. So,
Okay. So we're gonna have some questions for you here soon. So
okay.
and Robin.
Hi, I'm Robin Willis. I'm a young 63. I live in Indianapolis. I went to college at Indiana State University. I studied speech and theater. I did some professional theater down in North Carolina for a while, and then I came back to Indy. And I was in the movie Hoosiers. And then I took a break to do my 34-year career at the Indiana School for the Deaf. And I retired about 2 years ago. So I decided to get involved in movies, and I've been having a blast at it. Coming out in July is a movie that was filmed here in Indianapolis and Avon called Disciples in the Moonlight, and it's coming out in July. I was a part of Extraction USA. I just did the movie premiere for I Heard It Through the Blueberry Vine, and that was this week. I've done about 2 other projects, and I've got about 4 projects coming up in the next 3 to 4 months. So it's keeping me busy, and I'm having a lot of fun at it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we just had another person join us. Is this Linda? Oh, she's having trouble. Her audio's trying to connect. As soon as she does, we will come to her. So let's pop into Brandy. What made you want to pursue coming on board with this film?
It just seemed something interesting. It was something new. Just interested in it. I mean, I always like to try new things, so I figured it'd be fun, and pretty much it.
And you and me, we had a photo shoot about a month or so ago where I dressed up as Jason and came down.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
So yeah, I was like that too when I first started the film back about a year and a half. My first thing I did was for the first harvest, but it wasn't used. And then we went and I did another scene, same character, different part of the franchise of this film. It's a YouTube short called The First Harvest by Paul Allen, and it is called Paul's Wonderful Circus. And it's based on mental health and what, in my opinion, what possibly could happen if you don't get help. And it's a bunch of short little series episodes leading up to the short that I was in called Just One Good Day. And he just put out the movie, which is the full length of everything leading up to this, called The First Harvest. And I believe he's working on another project that's concerning that. After that, I bounced around trying to find stuff. And I know Mindy, and I know for sure Anna knows that looking for something without having any help or connections is a pain in the ass, because you have to audition, and if you get the role, then you get the information for this role. Sometimes you get the information, hey, we're filming, we're looking for anybody that wants to come to Alabama and be on set for 3 days from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. You can get paid $150, but have to be on set for 12 hours. And that's it. No room, no board, no food, no travel. So you have to go there, do your 1 or 2 days, get your $150, $200. And I'm like, man, that ain't worth it.
Exactly.
Like, I'm gonna spend $200 just to go for 3 days to make 300. That's just a vacation with no insight, no money, I wasted my time. All I got was a movie credit. And yeah, that's a key element to be an actor and wanting to keep going, is building your credits up, because that shows anyone, regardless of what it is, that you have some experience doing something. And one of my actresses that's in here, Anna knows her very well. She's been on set with her, Mel Heflin. She has close to 100, if not more than 100 credits to her name. And she is one of the busiest women in the industry for where we all kind of sit at, because we're not Hollywood actors. We ain't working no Hollywood big budget films yet. We're trying, but we ain't there yet. But 100 credits to your name is phenomenal.
Yes.
Even
Mhm.
if it's B movies, low budget movies, fan films, the backwoods, shoot it with the old RCA VHS tape camera. It don't matter. It's on
Mhm.
IMDb. You filmed it, you shot it, you put it out. It's there. People can watch it. And when you go to apply for somewhere, they're going to look you up, get your IMDb, go, oh, what, damn, 100 credits. What's she been in? And then they may go look and see, well, look, she wants to be this. Let's see what she can do. Boom, she going to get the part. Like any of them
Mhm.
could. And Anna, you've been up in the game, then you've been down in the game. Because we've known each
Yep.
other almost coming up on a full year now.
Yeah.
And when I first got in touch with you, you were pretty busy. You were doing some things, and then you was
Mhm.
like busy few months. Next few
Mhm.
months, I'm low. Anybody got something I can do? I need a film. Right now, I'll even take this and that. And I was like, and I ain't got no money, but I'm trying to film a film. You want to be a part of it? And he was like, yeah, anything to, it's a credit, and that helps.
Yep. And I
I,
like acting just to keep in the practice
that too.
and trying new challenging things. So I'm always looking for stuff. And I've actually been in the industry since 2007. That was the first film I filmed was in '07. But work got in the way. That's the problem I have. Work always gets in the way at some point or another. So I have to stop and then go back to it. And then I moved to Mexico and couldn't speak any of the language, so I couldn't find jobs there. But James Balsamo contacted me and offered me a part to film remote. That was my first remote. So I was like, wait, you do this stuff? So I never knew about remote until like 2021. So I was like, wow, yeah, I'll do that. And those usually I'll do free, like remote, or if I travel somewhere, I just ask, find a way to get me there and back, and pretty much like find me a place to stay and I'll work for free. So,
That's what I did with the movie that we shot in northern Indiana. It's called Detour. It's not out yet. It can be found on YouTube. Um, Also, all everything about anything with me and with you guys, I'm going to have your connections with on the page when I post this. So everybody can find you if they want to try to reach out for any reason, for anything, ask a question, comment, you know. So on the link tree, there's a bunch of different links. My link tree is long as hell. And just one good day's link is in there because it's hard to find. Detour is hard to find, and hashtag is hard to find. When you go Google them, IDBM them, any of that, they're complicated.
hmm.
I got mine, Jason in Indianapolis, on Google, and it's had a press story written about it. It's in one of our local newspapers called Nouveau here in town. I've tried to get it on the radio. I've tried to get it on the TV on a commercial. Or we have Fox 59 here, and I've tried to get on the red couch. I've tried to be on a talk show. I'm having difficulties with media, so I'm trying to air it and I'm trying to push it because when you make a movie, it takes you to another level because you get to be something that you're not.
Hmm.
You
Right.
are grown up playing imaginary.
That's the part about it I like.
Exactly. That's what got me involved is like, I went and I work security first off, hence the name of the podcast. It's working security. I meet celebrities, musicians, TV stars, radio personalities, podcasters, YouTubers, you name it, I've met them, wrestlers. And I don't treat them like the status that they're portraying because Anna, you're just like me. Mindy's just like me. All of us are like each other. We're everyday normal people. And when they go to a show and they meet their fans, you got fans or some real hardcore down to the he's ready to cry if he breaks his foot or something. These people are I've seen some fanatical fans, and why they adore their fans, they also just want to be treated like everybody else. You know,
Mhm.
I've met so many wrestlers that when a fan walks away, they're like, man, how many more of these fanboys do we have to deal with today? Why can't we get a normal person just come up here and be like, hey, what's up, brother? Nice to meet you. I've been following you forever. Yeah, I want one of these pictures here. Yeah. I want to get a selfie too. Right on, bro. Thank you. And walk away. Not try to start a conversation for 40 minutes.
Mhm.
You know,
Hmm.
it's okay to a degree, but for the most part, I've seen it and I don't like it. I know celebrities can't like it. So doing the filming the films, I got to play a bouncer. I got to play at a nightclub, doing what I always do. And I said, do I have any lines? Do I just stand here? And he goes, well, this is a fill-in scene, kind of, and because we wanted you in it. I'm like, right on, appreciate that. He says, so I see something happen. I can't give it away, but I see something happening over here. And these two guys are trying to get in the club afterwards. And I had to tell them, I give them what I would do in real life until the owner of the nightclub tells me to let them in. And so I'm arguing with them, and finally it was done. And they kept the scene, and it was good. And I ad libbed. I hadn't. I It was a weird experience but then I sat back and was like, hey, this is like real life. You just got to pretend. And so that was my first thing of getting to know what it was like. And then I did that just one good day scene, and it was a fighting scene. And while it was good, I actually wish I would have got to see the footage before we wrapped up, and because I would have said we should play this out a little bit more, make it look a bit more realistic. It looks good, but it could have been done, in my opinion, a little better. I'm a perfectionist to a degree, so that's why I couldn't film my film and do Jason at the same time because I can't see the camera angles.
Mhm.
And so I got Eddie Owens who's on board to help me with the cameras, and my son who's going to help out with his iPhone, and I have an iPhone that I'm going to set up, and I have the video camera. So I'm going to have a bunch of different shots from different angles of the entire scene that I'll be able to crop and edit and piece together. And for the people watching, I'm not going to give it away, but so we'll continue with what we were talking about. um, Linda, since we can hear you now and see you, how are you doing?
I'm good.
Would you like to introduce yourself and let everybody know a little bit about you?
Sure. I am Linda Archer. Most of y'all know me. You were on the other podcast. And I have been a model and brand ambassador for more than 10 years. I've been in a few films. One's going to be out after 8 years. I don't think it's been 8 years since I was, in it, but it's going to be out like next month, I think, supposed to be. Had to do with like the apocalypse or whatever after it. And then the film that I'm going to be in for you, I'm going to be playing a reporter, and then the reporter ends up dying in Town Square. And then I play, what's her name, Julia? Or did you change the name for that character?
I think we're gonna be I'm gonna be hashing the whole script and adding names and changing things and trying to get
Okay.
it lined up. So just the lines are gonna be pretty much the same. Just hold off on the name for the on screen.
Okay, that's fine. But I'll be playing a couple of characters, so I died with those, so that'd be fun.
Okay. So let me jump in a few more questions here. So Linda, let me ask you. Let's see here.
Sorry, I was looking for something. You got it?
What's the best thing that you do when you get ready to rehearse for something? What gets you in that frame of mind to tackle what you're doing?
Well, I normally turn off like all distractions and I'll run over the lines over and over. And I have an app that repeats them where you can see
Okay.
them and also hear them.
Nice. And what about you, Mindy?
Yeah, I just usually like record myself a million times and just keep watching and see, just make mental notes. And that's what I did with the reporter scene I sent to you. Oh my gosh, I must have had like 10 different takes.
There'll be a wristband.
And what about you, Anna?
I pretty much practice a lot. And then I'll look in the mirror to make facial expressions
Oh,
to go
yeah.
with it, just to check on what I want to look like. Then I do like Mindy. I do the recording over and over and over. I have once taken like 50 takes just to get a 5-second part because I was like, no.
We should do a blooper reel of all of our takes. Wouldn't that be funny? Because I'll get mad and cuss at myself or do whatever, and that
Yeah.
would be funny.
Oh yeah. Like I actually do have a blooper reel I started. The first part of it, I was walking across the room and I started saying my line. I was like, "Oh, cat." A cat ran past the window and I was like, "Oh." So it just like caught me off guard because I'm really ADHD too, so I
Yeah.
notice everything around me.
That's how
I
I
want
am.
to see that.
That's how I am. I've been driving all over town during cutting grass during my day job, working security over here, going to a show. I am constantly looking for something to use in this film. And I've noticed I do that a lot. When I see something, I stop and I look, I get out, I scour the scene, and then I'll notice one thing. I'm like, nope, I'm good on this. We got to go out, find something different. And it's just, and then when you're filming like here, my neighborhood, I live in Hallville, so or right on the edge of Hallville. I live in Riverside. Linda knows where I'm going. Back in the 90s, this was like the worst area in this town. This was like murder capital for Indianapolis back in the 90s when
Oh
the
my
gang
gosh.
wars and all the West Side East Side rivalry and just the dumb ignorant stuff that happened back in then. Today it's pretty much mellow. You don't see a bunch of the gangs, you don't see all that dumb stuff. You just see ignorant kids, juveniles, and young dummies out here trying to act like they on some stuff when go get a job, man. Get a job. And we hear gunshots. If you don't hear a gunshot from the time you wake up in the morning to the time you go to bed at night, at least once a day, it was peaceful.
That sounds like the Bronx, New York when I lived there.
Hey, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's good for me to be able to film here because screaming isn't really, I mean, yeah, I'm gonna let my neighbors know, but outside of that, screaming is another part of this neighborhood because you'll have people down the hall. I got a Mexican family that lives down the street here, and now and then they'll have a siesta. And when they had that siesta, boy, I'm telling you, 1 o'clock in the morning when they part ways to go home, it is the loudest thing. You got 3 different dialects of Spanish going on, and they're loud, trying to overlap. I'm talking to Mindy, and Mindy's 5 people down here, and my wife is here, and then Anna and Linda are trying to talk over the top of us two, and I'm like, I need to go home. So,
That sounds like my family.
and then we got the ambulances, the fire trucks, the police, all throughout the day. Like while I was trying to get this going again, I had to wait 9 minutes to use this link again for some reason.
Weird.
police and fire were just stopped a couple blocks from my house. So it's a good place to shoot. And I have abandoned buildings down here, and I have some empty houses around, and the alleys look spotty enough for something like Jason would be
Mhm.
walking down. And when he comes to the city, it's
That's right.
Jason's area when he comes to a city. This fits
Mhm.
Jason.
Right.
And
Thanks.
we I've got a scene. I'm not going to say what it is, but there is a scene that takes place right here, and it's kind of there's no nudity, but there's sexual innuendos, and it's a husband and wife team that's going to be playing the part. So it's going to be a lot of realistic activity involved. To where, if I brought Mindy here and I put her with Joe Blow over here to do this scene, they can do it, but it's going to feel awkward because they don't have a chemistry.
Mhm.
That is the most action I've had in a while.
I know the feeling.
So, so I'm filming a lot of them right here, and I can't film in parts of the city, but I'm going to use neighborhoods that I can use pieces of. Like we have the Indianapolis 500. Ain't nobody going to copyright infringe me for showing an iconic landmark of Indianapolis or the Monument Circle of Indianapolis. But I got to stay away from certain things like Gainbridge, Lucas Oil, because they're sports franchises. And just because it's Lucas Oil Stadium, which is CIB for Indianapolis, they own it, the city. And then you got Indianapolis Colts, which is owned by Jim Irsay, but is part of the NFL. So if I show any of that and anything NFL pops up, I can get in trouble.
Oh.
Oh,
Same
geez.
with
Well,
Gainbridge. It's the home of the Pacers. And
Pictures.
even though they house music and everything else,
Yes, I did.
Pacer stuff is all over the outside, just like Lucas Oil. The Colts are all over outside. So I can't shoot it there, but I'm using the landmarks of the monument, Indianapolis 500, a couple neighborhood signs like the Irvington Historic sign, the old South Side sign, our Riverside neighborhood, Hallville. I'm implicating neighborhoods that Jason will visit for our kill scenes.
Cool.
And
Yeah, that is cool.
that puts in a format of giving the whole area of Indianapolis
There's a circle with
an eye light. So people can see, you see movies made in New York City, they use New York City. Yeah, but they got millions of dollars to buy the whole street and shut it down. So
Yeah.
Yeah. And get
But-
all these permits.
I got one permit, and it's to shoot a bunch of stuff out here.
Nice.
So that way, if the police gets called because somebody's screaming bloody murder out here, and they show up, and I'll be like, hey, I got a permit. I'm filming a movie.
Yeah.
So saves my ass. And you watch movies that say they're here, and you don't get nothing. You may get you've seen them Hallmark movies where they're in Raleigh, West Virginia, or South Carolina, and they show downtown Raleigh, and then they may show an iconic bridge or restaurant, just a view, a couple cars walking past and people walking past, nothing to do with the movie, just a fill-in shot. That's what I plan on doing to implicate Indy into the film.
Mhm.
And then I've got a lot of people that's donated stuff, the mask, the face. I have a girl in Mississippi down there by you, Anna. She lives about an hour, I think she said an hour south of Mobile, like
Oh,
down
okay.
bottom of Mississippi.
Uh-huh. Like Gulfport area?
Yeah, I can't remember the town, but
Oh, okay.
her thing is Chaos Kitten jewelry.
Oh, okay.
I reached out to ask her how much a necklace would cost, and she said we talked, and she says, you brought a whole bunch of people to my page, and I'm blowing up, so I'm just going to donate it to the film. So I'm
Mhm.
on an actress to wear. A few days after Jason's been here, we've had a few of the interviews, and we transgress, it'll be worn.
Mhm.
So it gets her some play for her business to have something in a film. And
Cool.
then I got a
Oh,
couple podcasters that as well is going to be they've contributed, and they're going to have their podcast some way. A commercial of it is going to be in it, whether it's a flyer on a telephone pole, it's
okay.
on a
You guys say what
TV,
you say?
but that's
Dinner
what
with
we're going to
barbecue
have.
and a pepper with tea.
Nice.
And then
And
what do you guys as a
have a
collective,
good one.
because all three of you guys have acted, what have you guys, what is your goal when you see a movie come out? Like, you've got Bigfoot, you've got several under your belt, Linda's got several under hers, and like Anna, when you go to a film, like you just was up there with Mel, and I believe, was it Daisy?
Just a Daisy, yeah.
Yeah,
And
Jessica.
let's see. It was Donald Farmer's film. I've worked with him before. We had Just a Daisy, we had Angel Bradford, Mel,
Angel, yep.
and Ashley Amber Lynn.
Yep, I've talked with her before too.
They
So,
were all so fun to work with too.
so when you get done with the movie, or you get done with your scene, what's your hopes for that movie? We're when you see movies come out like Beetlejuice, I'm just going to use a Hollywood film. You see Beetlejuice come out, and you're like, oh Lord, that's you get excited because you watched it as a kid, watched it when you were younger, and you're like,
Mhm.
oh damn, they're bringing Beetlejuice back, and you jump on it. You can't wait for it to come out.
Yeah.
And then you're in a film, and as an actress, you want to, or an actor, you want that to get the same results, but no, it's not going to. What
Mhm.
what's your feeling about where you want something to go, and how do you push it to get there?
Pretty much, I help promote as much as possible. Sharing pictures of like behind the scene and stuff, that's crucial because it's like people get to see parts that they would never see just going to a theater or renting the DVD and stuff like that. So the other thing is, I just hope that people get excited about it by the actors in it, their enthusiasm for it.
That's
And if there are sequels, that's awesome.
Mhm.
See, I was talking with some podcast people that may be taking this and helping me push it forward some more. They gave me some advice that I'm going to probably implicate into the opening.
Mhm.
I'm not going to give it away, but I'm just going to say it involves emotions. And the reason I think what he said would be viable for the film is you want to connect with the audience. And when you
Mhm.
connect with the audience, you have something, because if they connect and they actually engross, and at the end they're like, damn, hey man, y'all see this fan film, this thing they put out? Hey man, they brought Friday 13th back to life, and some new stuff popped up. I didn't know this. And then they start sharing it, and it gets spread. And for Mindy's been on board since she's got here. She's helped out, and she really picked up a lot of slack since I lost somebody that was there since the beginning. Like, she was the first person to join, and she cut out.
Hmm.
And that deals with somebody who, I'm not gonna give no names, but I had almost $500 ready to be donated. And I only know that it was theirs because somebody involved with us right now told me that he donated half of that to somebody who was on part of the production. Mindy, you removed one of the logos from the poster.
Okay, yeah.
That individual
Hmm.
told me I can do this, and hey, I've reached out to this person, and I'm gonna get this made, and I'm gonna send you a contract for us and my production team for you to receive this money and not have to pay it back. And all we want is you to show us that you're filming it and that it's gonna come out. And when you sign it, you get the money. Once it comes out, we part ways. And I'm like, okay, that sounds plausible. We could do that.
Mhm.
So we did, and I didn't know anything of what he was telling people on the back when he was doing his networking. He was telling people that, hey, if you donate to this, I can make sure you get executive producer rights. I can make sure you get co-producer rights. I can make sure you get this and this. And I didn't know that aspect of it, but I know when he asked for executive producer rights by donating to the film, I said, look, man, I'm not trying to be mean, but that's not a perk just yet. And second
Mhm.
of all, just because you donate to the film for that perk doesn't give you the dictatorship to tell me what I do.
Mhm.
And
Right.
he says, well, that's what a producer does. I'm like, that's what a producer that is involved directly with the film does. Not somebody that says, here's a chunk of money. Thanks for the title. But I think you ought to do this, and I need to see this, and we should do that. No, sorry, this ain't your rodeo. I asked, you volunteered to help out and get this, and all you wanted was the executive producer right or a producer right and your team to get credit for helping. I was cool with that once you said co-producer. I was cool to give you that. And then when I got my little hissy fit because I had a very, very, very stressful, fucked up day, I decided to stop the film because two people were reaching out telling me that, when are you going to do this? When can I see this? When is we going to get this? And I said, hey, look, I'm all over the board because I'm an amateur. I'm trying to learn and I'm doing it the best I can. And then he takes what I say and he construes it saying, well, you can't tell people this and not do this. And I'm like, look, if you've ever acted, you ever been in any type of industry with film, television, radio, anything live or recorded, and there's a bunch of other people, shit happens. The producer can sit there while everybody congregated right now today, we 10 minutes from starting action, and say, look, we got to stop today. We're going to pick this back up tomorrow. Sorry about the inconvenience. See you guys tomorrow. And cut out. Ain't shit you can do about it, but roll the hell out and come back tomorrow. If you want to be a part of the freaking film. Because that's what the freaking producer and directors have the right to do. And ain't nobody going to tell me, anybody else that's a producer or director, what to do, because that's not theirs. That's stay in your lane. Basically, know your role and stay in it. Your advice is warranted, but you don't, hey, you need to do this. Hey, we need to do this before we do that. No. Be like, hey, maybe you should try this. Look into doing this. That's the proper way of saying it. Look into this.
Mhm.
This is successful over here. Maybe you should try this. And when I said you ain't gonna dictate to me, he's like, well, you're fucked up anyways. You don't know what you're doing. You're all over the board. You already stopped once. What's to say you ain't gonna stop again? And this, that, and the other. And then the person who's with me since the beginning, he got her away, and now she's working with him doing stuff. And so, and then three other people dropped out because they said the chat room that I have set up for everybody. Yeah, and Anna's going to know where I'm coming from with this. Yeah, that's not normal, is it, Anna? You don't see chat rooms for people to sit and talk with other actors very often.
Not often. I have a few times, but it's becoming more popular now. So
Exactly.
you can kind of get acquainted with who you're working with.
Yeah, it would make sense to have one, I think.
Yeah.
And this one guy, he had 60 films, and he said, brother, I got to cut out. You already quit once, came back. That's a little confusing. He said, and you're all over the board. I mean, he goes, I've been in 60 films. I've never once been in a chat room where all the actors and actresses and the crew can all mingle together and chat about the film or their acting. He says, what the fuck is the point of that? I'm like, well, you show up on set, you don't start filming until at least an hour or 2 hours after you're on set. And then while you're there, you either are in a dressing room if you got one, in a room if you got one, or mingling with everybody else that's hanging out and talking. I said, we don't have that because I'm shooting with this person, I'm shooting with that person, I'm shooting with this person. This person's in Mississippi, this person's in Arizona, and this person's in Maryland. We don't congregate, we ain't going to see each other. So it's best to have everybody that's involved be able to communicate with everybody and get to know who else is in this film, because it makes it line up easier for everybody to be able to say, yeah, I got to work with them. Oh, you did? Yeah. They're in the film with me. Did you get to meet them? Oh, no, they was on another day. Oh, yeah, I didn't even get to talk to her. Well, this is what this is for. Like Mel. Mel's a busy girl, but she's told me she'll be on my podcast eventually when she's got the time. But to have her, have Heather Harlow, have any of them actresses who have a huge line like Anna, she's up and coming, but she's got a history. And she's worked with some of these actresses personally on set. And so to not be able to work with Anna on set, to have this and to have the chat, I can talk to her, I can ask her questions, I can get to know her because this is a network.
Yeah. And that's part of acting and movie making, network as much as possible.
Yeah.
Because
and I like meeting new people.
Right.
Yeah.
Anybody here could be on something and somebody say, hey, just by chance, anybody knows such and such? We need somebody that can fill this role, and this is what it is. And anybody can be like, oh yeah, I worked with this guy here, or I worked with this girl here. They've acted before. And then boom. Because we've talked. We didn't just show up on set, do a scene, leave, didn't get to know each other, didn't know nothing about each other till we met each other 5 minutes ago. 2 hours later, we're parting ways. We still don't know each other. And I figured a chat room to be able to bring everybody together so I don't have to hit 30, 40 different people up individually for a group thing like the podcast. That's a group thing. I needed to let it out there. And when I start learning this stuff just a little bit more on recording stuff, then I'm going to have a dedicated podcast group. So when it's done, I'll create a podcast group, get the people that's going to be on the show in the group to talk right before we go live. And in that way, everybody's on board. I can give instructions there. I can talk what I need to talk about there and then move forward.
Sounds like Mr. 60 Films thought he was better than everybody else. But that's just my opinion.
Hey, everybody thinks everybody, especially the people who left, they think they know shit. And I don't know half of what I know, to be honest with you. I'm learning. Like, this is the first time I've ever hosted a freaking Zoom call. I mean, come on. And I'm learning. I've already had one mistake, but I'm learning.
But yeah.
And these people do things over here and then try to get into something else. Well, you need to research before you jump into another pool, because I didn't jump into the podcast pool till I learned what I needed to do and got it all lined up. The recording process, yeah, that's a curveball that I'm learning from. But when it comes to everything I've done in a year and a half, I was a security guard at a music venue. A bunch of us got let go. I started doing security by myself for people. I've went from working for free, driving myself to Ohio to work for a band and getting all access to the concert and to everybody there. Networked with 3 other bands. That one's in town tonight. When this podcast is over, I'm scooting to the location to hang out. Another one is in Michigan, And whenever they're close, it's the same thing. I roll out and I hang out. And then another guy, he'll be on my podcast here soon. He's coming to town and I'm going to be hanging out with him too. So it's a thing where you do something good, it showcases your skills, you get hired the next time.
Mm-hmm.
And I did security for conventions, expos, festivals, music festivals, PopCon, Horror Hound, security, driving celebrities from hotels, airports, back and forth, sitting with them at their tables, escorting them to and from places, concerts, to advance into doing a movie and then a short and then a web series as an extra. And then now I'm making a movie. And in the process of making this film, I started doing photography, which now I have gigs lined up for that, for wrestling right now. And after that, I've got the podcast. And yet, each thing I've put my finger into, it's gonna kill me here in a few, just so you guys know.
Oh,
So
that
That
must be
way.
something new.
I know, but I have the basic
I do
platform,
too. Yeah.
and it only
Yeah.
gives me 30 minutes.
Mm.
But you know, when I dived into all this stuff, I've done good with my security. I've got my connections. It's not every day, not even every month, but it's there. I have photography. It's getting faster and better. And the movie, I'm getting it. It's going. And everything I've done, very few people have helped. On the movie, I've had a lot of help. I'm not going to deny that. But all my connections with security, with the podcast, and with the photography has just been networking.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Sam,
Yep.
it's just like in the movies. In life, you just have to constantly reinvent yourself in order to stay valid. And you're doing exactly that. And I say that's awesome for you, because that's exactly what you have to do.
Like last night when I was having the meeting with the podcast people who were going to help me analyze this better and get it out, told me my plate is full. And as long as I keep it full, I'm never going to wander and get in trouble. Because if people Google my name, you're not going to get me. But if you Google my name and put Indianapolis after it, you'll get me. And halfway through that looking, you'll find my criminal record from 8-9 years ago. And that's where people start looking and saying, oh, no, we ain't, nope. And you know, I keep telling, I says, oh, so you're one of them people that still look 10, 15, 20 years in the past. I ain't got nothing but some burglaries and some car thefts, and it wasn't nothing of anybody's. It was car lots and warehouses. I said, so, you know, I'm not violent. I ain't a sex offender. I ain't a dope dealer, and I ain't a gangbanger. I did some petty things I think 90% of the people that we talk to every single day has done once in their lifetime. Somebody snitched some candy. I know somebody snitched candy. Somebody in this group snitched some candy and put some bubble gum in their pocket when they went to the gas station and their mama told them no, and they grabbed that little bazooka and put it in their pocket. I know some of these people in this group did that. You know,
When I was 5, I stole a little gift box, and my mom saw it when we got out to the car, and she made me go back in, return it, and apologize. Never stole anything after.
I was bad. I was a bad kid. I've stolen dinosaur stickers for a sticker book all the way up to taking a TV at the back of Walmart before. So I've done some very ballsy shit, and I've gotten in trouble for it. And my wife got me out of it. And in the 10 years I've known my wife, I have literally like did a complete 380 on a different track. And it's only went up. Yeah, work is slow, but you know, we all had to push forward. And the basis for me jumping into different pies and getting my hands dirty in different areas is I see something interesting, like at wrestling shows. My family wrestles up in Muncie, and I've been trying to get on board doing security, but they don't need it. And there was nothing else I could figure out to do, so I was working a show, and they came down, the owners. I got to talk with them. They know me anyway. And I told them I'm doing photography now. And they was like, hey, come up to IPW, come up here and do some photography. So I've got that coming. I got FEW tomorrow. I'm doing. I got Jerry the King Lawler's wrestling show next 2 weeks from today. And doing all this finger stuff shows me that with no money, no knowledge, just a few connections and people on text messaging, anybody can do anything.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And I never dreamed to be a security guard, an actor. 3 years ago, I would have told you we can't be friends no more if you told me you saw me working with some celebrities and hanging out and kicking it with some musicians, and you know, I'd be backstage getting high and hitting shots before they go on stage. I'd have never believed you. I'd have told you the liar, get the hell out of my face, quit telling me this shit. And yet I've done that. You know, I've done some crazy shit with some of these people, especially some actors. They're phenomenal people when they're just themselves. And I just wanted to do this and bring other people in to show that anybody can do something.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, Mindy, you made that sign behind you, you know.
Mhm.
And I I was thinking of how to implicate something. You was like, hey, I can make a sign. And so you took a skill and you made something for the film. Anna, she took her skill and she did something for the film. Not only acting, you both brought something to it. Linda, she's playing two parts, same part, but two scenes. She's doing a reporter scene, then she's doing another reporter scene as a follow-up, and she gets killed in it. So she's getting a double whammy in the film.
And she's got a good looking milkshake.
Yeah.
I've been looking at it.
And Robin, she's got a scene coming up with a friend of hers that, she said, well, I'd like to die, but I just can't do all the falling down and stuff. And I was like, well, you could be in the car and I'm gonna take care of you. She was okay. So we revised it for her to make it suitable, because that's what this is for.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna kill me in my car.
And before it cuts me off, I'll say I want to thank everyone that's been here, that came on, got off. I want to thank y'all, and
Thank you
Yes, thank you.
for having us.
I appreciate it, because I'm going to revisit with the cast, try to, and get more people on here that
Nice.
after I filmed it as a revisit right before it comes out, to get more insight about how'd you feel when you did your scene. And especially I want Emily on here because she's 14 and she's done a few films around town here. I want her because this is going to be something big with Jason for her. She's a fan. So I'm definitely going to try to get some of these people who have never acted that are getting ready to die. And I want to see how they feel about being in something for the first time. And I'm
Keep
still
plugging
working
at
on
it,
the
Sam.
theater.
You're doing a great job.
Thank
Yeah.
you. And I'm still trying to work on the theater.
You drinking
As we all know, Indigo ain't working too well. But I'm working, I'm trying. If I don't get it, I'll figure something else out. But for everybody watching, there'll be links and everything at the bottom in the comments. I'll list links for everything. And it'll have the Indiegogo, the link tree, and the link tree will have everything you need to know about the movie. If you want to talk to one of the actors or actresses that's in our film, just reach out to me directly and I will reach out to them. Please don't message them directly. Have respect. They don't know you. They probably ain't going to hit the thing anyways. So reach out to me. Let me pass on the information to them. Respect their privacy. Especially Mindy. She's driving herself insane over here with all these little side projects. Anna's up here doing her thing. with Mindy, I can get in touch with Mindy quick. I can get in touch with Linda quick and Robin quick. Anna's busy. I try not to bug her too much, but if I reach out, she usually gets back in touch with me pretty quick. So
Yeah, I try.
and I'm on my
Usually it's about
Facebook.
like 2 or 3 in the morning, but
Yeah,
yeah.
we've talked to 2, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Uh,
All of us, I think, have talked 1 or 2 in the morning before.
Yeah.
So yeah, just respect their privacy.
Oh.
Reach out to me and I'll make sure they receive your message. And if they want to reach out, they will. Otherwise, if you want to support us, in the link tree, there'll be an Indiegogo link. It'll come back up again sometime the beginning of May. And we hope you stick with us and stay tuned for more sessions from the Schmucker Security Podcast. I've got future guests coming up from bands. I got one guest that starred in a 1960s television show. And to the respect of that show, another actor might be coming on that starred in a very well-known musicians movie. I want to thank everyone that came out to the show tonight, Mindy, Anna, and Linda, for appearing on the first session of the Schmucker Security Podcast. We look forward to doing more with you guys, and we hope you all stay tuned for our next session coming up soon. Thank you.